All right, here we go in three, two, one.
Cheers, cheers. Cheers to the Oilers and moving on. And what a series that was. You know what time it is? It's TWIS this week in sports. Oilers advance in a dramatic Game 7 to face the Flames in the Battle of Alberta. They had a dramatic Game 7. I was at our Game 7, first ever playoff game I've ever attended in the NHL. Not the first ever playoff game I've attended in the Big Four, but first ever NHL playoff game. Get into that. We'll get into the round one predictions. Oh, you can tell that I had quite the time on Saturday. My voice is still recovering. Damn. Round one predictions. Good into my round two. It's starting tonight. It has already started, and the Jays doing putting a couple crazy wins together. SSIR, a Super Series Indian Relay, starting up this weekend. It's going to be a hell of a time. I'm so excited for it. My first ever official announcing gig. And, of course, we got TWIS this week in sports history. But, excuse me, we got to start off with Saturday, this past Saturday when we were hosting Game 7 here in Edmonton, Rogers Place. I was fortunate enough to be there. And holy shit, it was I was doing actually some announcing at the ballpark before that, and so the first time ever in my life I've seen a ball game and a hockey game in the same day, and it was incredible. Never in Edmonton do you have a baseball game going on before a hockey game because either we don't have baseball going on or the Oilers aren't that deep in the playoffs. But fortunately enough, I was announcing that game down at Remax, game one of the doubleheader, and as soon as that ended, I jetted up the hill, went to game 7, joined the party, and what a party it was. What a game it was. It was close. It was 0-0 after the first. We all know how it went. CC scored the first goal. Place went nuts. I went nuts. I still can't believe I was there to witness CC's goal, and then late in the third, I think like 5 minutes left or something, like six or 5 minutes left, something like that. 4 minutes left. McDavid comes around, wraps around, quick saves it, rebound. Oh, shelved it, top shelf, over quick. Connor McDavid was one of the best sellies. You can tell he was so happy, and I probably lost some more of my hearing, even though I've lost so much of it up to this point, going to so many live concerts and whatnot. But like a live concert, this crowd was going so crazy, including myself, and we held on. Mike Smitty with the shutout. Gotta give. I think. Yes. Smitty, McDavid, the Oilers move on, and the celebration in there was maddening. I was having so much fun. One of the funnest experiences of my life, especially going to any sort of sporting event. Probably the funnest sporting event I've been to. The only thing I could compare it to was attending a Blue Jays playoff game back in 2016 when I flew to Toronto for it. First time in Toronto, and we won the series there. But that was a game 3. It was different. This was a game 7. First ever playoff game was a game 7. When I do my first, I always do that shit big, and this is no different. And it was so much fun, and the game itself was incredibly fun. But afterwards, the pandemonium, the party outside of Rogers Place was something I'll never forget. I met these couple dudes like walking up to Rogers, just you know, all in the same vibe, just having a good time, and they coincidentally were like sitting in the next section next to me in the same row. I was row 1 up in the second bowl there, and so were they, but they were like right in the next section. So we ended up linking up afterwards too, and partying outside. I went down Jasper Ave to the cabin where the cousins were.
Yeah.
and they were partying the whole time. I'd be lying if I say I remember getting to the cabin, but there was some good photos taken, and luckily where we were going right after that was across the street to my other cousin's place, so it was all super super convenient, and it was one of the times of my life I'll never forget it. Game 7, Oilers take it over the LA Kings 2-0, and I was there, and something that will go down in the history books in Oilers history as one of the best games, best series, most exciting. Um, that was a first Game 7 in over a decade and a half. So, uh, well, the one in Anaheim didn't count because some fucking bullshit shenanigans. But let's not get to that. That don't matter. We're moving on to round 2. We're facing the Flames, who did end up winning against Dallas. I called it. I thought they were gonna have an easier time. I called Calgary in 5, but it took 7 games and overtime for that to happen. And holy shit, it could have went either way. I'll get to my round 1 predictions in a sec. Make sure I got shit here. But yeah, so that one I got right, but I didn't get the games right. I don't think I got any of the games right here, like the amount of games they would take. But I got a lot of the predictions right because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Florida and Washington. Florida obviously moved on, right? So I got that right. I said in 7. I think it took what freaking. It took less than that. It was in 6, so I was close. This one I did not get correct. Carolina versus Boston. I called Boston in 6 because of their experience. Carolina took it in 7, but the Boston Bruins did put up a hell of a fight. And Toronto and Tampa. You know who I called. I called Toronto. Just kidding. Of course not. I killed Tampa. I called Tampa. I said in 6. It went to 7 because Toronto had 2 chances of finishing it off, and of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. New York versus Pittsburgh. This is another one I didn't have correct. I had Pittsburgh in 6. New York actually took it in 7, which was quite the series because they finished it off in overtime too in Game 7. That like Game 7 overtime is next level. Like that shit's there was 5 Game 7s in this series. I can't believe it. 5 Game 7s out of the first round out of a possible 8. Colorado versus Nashville. I had Colorado, of course. I had it in 6, but they swept Nashville, so that's quite impressive. Minnesota, St. Louis. I had Mini in 6, but it was actually St. Louis that took it, so I got that one wrong. And they took it in 6, so it was the opposite. But that was the one I had the amount of games correct. And I had Edmonton versus LA. I had Edmonton, obviously. I said it in 5. It took 7 games. Hell of a series. So I got that one right. So I went 5 and 3 in the first round. It's pretty damn good, all things considering. As far as the winners, I mean, I didn't get the games right, but, count the winners. And before I get to my round 2 predictions, I want to just talk about a couple of things in Toronto news here. Mitch Marner got his ride hijacked after losing in Game 7. I guess the fact that he was Mitch Marner had nothing to do with it, but they were just after the ride, his Range Rover, and it was I guess they had some guns, some straps, as the kids would call them, and I guess one of them had a knife or some shit. There was a group of 4 or 5 of them. Jacked his Range Rover. I think he was with his woman. Obviously,
While they were in it?
While they were walking up to it in a parking lot. Yeah. And obviously, I want the Leafs to lose. I don't want them to get carjacked. So, But I guess that's how it goes, right? When it rains, it pours.
Sounds racially motivated.
Yeah, that Mitch
If
Marner.
your race is a Leaf.
Yeah, exactly, right? Frig, I may or may not know the people that's. Just kidding. Yeah. No.
We make jokes.
Do we? Do we? I'm not sure. No, but another thing. Oh yeah, crazy stat. Crazy stat from that Maple Leaf series. Caleb, you want to hear this? Oh my god, this is crazy.
Let's hear it.
Oh, this is. Do you got a woo on that? Like a woo, like a holy cow woo?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's hear.
Nope.
No, that's not what we want.
No, that's not it. What about this one?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, so this is for real. The Leafs are the first team in the MLB, NBA, or the NHL history to lose a winner-take-all game in the opening round of the playoffs 5 years in a row. Repeat, the Leafs are the first time in 3 of the North American sports history to lose a winner-take-all game 5 years in a row in the opening round. They do not have the finish. This team.
Oh, sorry.
there it is. They don't have the finish. Give me some Stone Cold. Which one was it? This one?
No. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. They don't have the finish. They cannot take these teams out. They do not have what it takes in the playoffs, and that's what the bottom line is. Because what's his name says so. Stone Cold was his name, and that he made what famous, and he made that last line famous. Yeah, the Leafs they just don't have it. They don't have it, and that's
they play good.
They play good.
They play good regular hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
Regular hockey.
Yeah, that's right. When it comes down to it, oh my God, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode, but frick, when I was watching the game over at the with Dad, I was watching. There was a game the Leafs were losing. Can't remember which game it was, 5 or whatever it was. And one of their players was just getting shoved the fuck around, and he had no fight back. He was just taking it like Kachuk would.
Is that a franchise thing? You think, where like this is like
yes.
This is a culture that we're traditional hockey players. We're gentlemen. We're not gonna.
Here's the thing: if you're talking about a traditional hockey player, they have that grit. They have that fight.
Well, that's what I mean. You go back in the day, and you're just like. These people get canceled nowadays.
Yeah.
Just how much they're like fucking shit up on the ice.
Dude, the Leafs don't have it. If you take a look at any team that goes deep in the playoffs, any team that goes to round 2, they have that sandpaper, they have that tenacity, they have that physicality.
Well, where's it coming from? Because if the players are being influenced by the coach, is that the coach or is the coach being influenced by the higher-ups?
Well, it's a cultural thing. It's
cultural thing.
Yeah, I think so. It's living in Toronto, thinking because you have such a good team throughout the fucking season that you don't have to do that. Or I don't know. I don't live there, but that's the first thing that came to mind, and I would think that it would be. I don't know where your thing went. So, yeah. So yeah, I think it's they get comfortable in their success during the regular season, and not realizing, well, they have to realize now. I mean, it fucking keeps happening. Like, they got to be insane thinking the results are going to change, doing the same thing over and over again. But they got to understand that they got to do something different. They got to, like, for example, if you compare a lot of the players on the Leafs to what Connor McDavid's doing. McDavid's taking the body, and he never takes the body. I've never seen him so physical in my life. In the last 2 or 3 games of that series, the guy was hitting people, like checking them huge, and he never does that. And he was doing it because he knows what it takes in the playoffs. And I don't think the Leafs are there yet. And will they ever get there?
I don't know, man. It's been how freaking long?
Well, since they won a fucking playoff series, like 18 years or something. Since they won a playoff series, Caleb. and like you don't even talk about a cup anymore because it's just
Well,
let them win a playoff series. Like I feel almost bad for. I never thought it like.
But here's the thing. I mean, as far as my little knowledge goes, they often make the first round, right?
No. 5 years in a row they've made the first round. Caleb.
Yeah,
5 years in a row, and they've lost every single fucking time.
Jeez.
And then they were kind of sputtering along, and then in the last 18 years they haven't won a round.
Is there like stadium built on a burial land or something?
It probably is.
Yeah,
Someone's
got to smudge that shit.
Yeah, but I mean, no, yeah, don't tell them that. But those are curses that will never, even if you smudge the place. This is not going to happen. I don't know if they'll ever win another cup again, dude. Honestly. Not even joking about that.
But they're Toronto, and they'll be here forever.
Yes, they will be.
Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be like the longest, like the Red Sox in the MLB, Caleb, they didn't win in like in 90 years or something until they finally won in 2004. So, so I could see that. I'm not even, I don't know about 90 years. That's crazy. But I could see like 70 years.
Same thing with the Red Sox. They were good.
Yes.
Many years they were good. In many stretches they were good.
But they also had to face the Yankees. That was a crazy thing too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Yankee has $1 trillion just to throw at anybody they want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Moneyball.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was always that. But they did have good teams. And 90 years is just statistically crazy. I think it was 90 years for them. The Cubs also had a long one, the Chicago Cubs.
But yeah, like again, here's the thing with Toronto is they'll always be around, but they'll always have more money than the rest of our NHL teams.
Yeah, but there's a salary cap in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that doesn't matter.
That's true.
It's just to sell more shit. But yeah, my round 2 predictions here. Keep them moving here. I have Tampa over Florida. They won tonight, but I swear I made the prediction before they won tonight. I had I swear, man. It was just under circumstances we had to record at this particular time. I had Tampa over Florida in 6 games, and the reason for that particular number is because Florida, sure they won the President's Trophy, and sure they got to the second round for the first time since 1996. But that's the exact reason why I'm taking Tampa, because Florida hasn't been there yet. They don't know what it takes. Tampa's a defending 2-time champion, so I call Tampa in 6, even though Florida's on paper this year a better team. They haven't won a fucking playoff series in like your lifetime. And New York versus Carolina. This one I was actually thinking about a lot, and I was weighing the options, and I was thinking about it because I at first I was kind of leaning towards Carolina, because I guess they were the favorite over Boston, even though I took Boston last series. Actually, both these teams I didn't pick in the first series. That's another reason why I wasn't sure. But I'm thinking New York is going to take this in 7. I'm calling this game the 6th game 7 this playoffs, because New York is the underdog, technically on paper. But New York was also the underdog versus Pittsburgh. And I like their goalie, Sturgeon or whatever his name is.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, he's like a Hart Trophy finalist along with McDavid and Matthews. So I like New York in 7. Colorado versus St. Louis, what's happening right now. And I swear I predicted this before this started. On my way home from work, I predicted these because I'm like, I gotta have.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. I would have recorded last night, but I was so tired, dude. That was freaking long ass weekend going to party and shit.
I know you're in your notebook all the time.
Yeah, man. It's just I'm watching all the time too. It's just I'm fucking busy. But yeah, Colorado, St. Louis. I got Colorado in 6. I had them in 6 versus Nashville, and they swept Nashville. So I think St. Louis is going to win a couple of games at least, because they're a better opponent than Nashville in my opinion, and even though I'm calling both in 6. But after watching Colorado's domination over Nashville and the first part of this game, game 1, that's not why I chose 6. But after seeing this, it reassures me that St. Louis can't play because St. Louis came out and scored first. Just like actually Florida did earlier, but Tampa Bay came back and Colorado came back. I swear I made these picks before I was watching these games. Edmonton versus Calgary. This is going to be the fucking most hardcore shit we ever seen. I know a lot of people.
Edmonton in 4!
Holy
the ice will be red!
Holy fuck, can you imagine? Oh, look at this. Oh, I was there for that. They're showing highlights of the Calgary-Edmonton game where the Smitty fucked up Talbot. And I was fortunate enough to be in the stands for that. In Calgary, as an Oilers fan.
We have just some highlights in the background.
Yeah, dude, this is fucking incredible. Oh, man, I cannot wait. They're hyping it up on Hockey Night in Canada here. Shit. We gotta rewatch this here in a sec.
Yeah, you're probably feeling like you're missing out.
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, if they're talking Edmonton versus Calgary, we're talking Edmonton versus Calgary. He's saying Edmonton in 4. I would love that if that happened. I'm calling Edmonton in 6, and the reason being, actually the same reason that happens to be the case with yours. Oilers are going to win it at home.
Yeah.
And Calgary has home ice advantage in this one. So they start in Calgary, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm calling it in 6. I wouldn't be surprised though if it goes to 7. And I've been saying this. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm calling Edmonton in 6 right now on the podcast officially. But here's what I'm gonna say, and I've been saying this to everyone that have been asking me before I actually laid this actual prediction. Anyone who asked me if who I like in this round 2 Battle of Alberta, the first thing I say is, whatever team makes it out of this, I don't know how much is going to be left for Colorado, because this is going to be a fucking battle.
Well, I mean, how good's Colorado?
Colorado is the best team in the West.
Yeah,
they are.
And who are they facing again?
They're facing St. Louis right now. This is the intermission.
And what's your predictions for that again?
I got Colorado in 6. I could see him doing it shorter term. I could see him doing it in 5. I could see him doing it in 5, 100%. So they're gonna be rested. And whoever's coming out of fucking Edmonton versus Calgary, this is why the first thing I said to all these people, whatever team comes out of it, they're gonna be. I don't know what's gonna be left of them. They face Colorado.
Yeah,
and Colorado's gonna be rested,
be bloody and bruised,
and fucked up,
and mad. But I guess charged up too, right?
Yeah.
We just took Alberta, whoever it was,
and we're the only Canadian team left.
Right,
is what it will be.
Right.
So we'll talk next series when that happens.
Well, we'll talk when we're that.
That's right. Exactly.
We have to go face that.
That's right. I know it's gonna be fucking. It's a long road ahead here.
Well, when we win in 4 and Colorado wins or whatever in 7,
that would be crazy. That would actually be. You should put money on that if that's what you're calling, because you could put a little bit of money and win big on a guess like that.
I got no money.
Dude, throw like $5 on it, and then you fucking win. I don't know, probably close to $100.
I get $20 a week from this podcast, and that's all I do.
Yeah, it's less than that, motherfucker. Before we get to the Blue Jays, just some quick news in the other rounds of the NHL, because these other teams are going fishing. The Penguins, after being eliminated by the New York Rangers in the 7th game in overtime, they obviously have two of the best players for a long time. They have Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby still there, and both of them say they want to stay. Evgeny says, "I hope to stay here. I hope forever." And Crosby confirmed, like he said, he wants to play for another 3 years at least, he says. So the reason I bring this up and I found interest in this is because Crosby and Malkin are who McDavid and Draisaitl are becoming next, right? They're becoming the next two best players on the same, just like Yager and Lemieux were back in the day for Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah.
And back in the day when Gretzky and Messier, when they had their stack. There's also it's not just one player. It's not just one player ever on a team, right? It's a couple players. Just like Kane and Taves were on for Chicago. There's always a couple. So I mean, could Pittsburgh win another title? That'd be the most nuts story because those guys are getting into their late 30s. And shit, man, it's like how far can these guys go? How you know what I mean? How old can they go? How old can you go? Not that like the age itself has anything to do with it, but it's just the body and how quick
is Pittsburgh.
They're good.
They're on golf.
Yeah, they're going golfing right now. Yeah. Their own golf. They're on the golfing range. Oh man, I wish I was there. I was gonna go last weekend too, but I couldn't go on Sunday.
Something's going on with Edmonton. Some sort of weird ass voodoo. We're in like this last half of May, which should be scorching. Usually.
No, it snows usually on fucking May long weekend, and people freak out.
I remember the last couple of years it's been scorching in May, and it's like I can't even open my windows in the morning. It's cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to snow in Red Deer this weekend.
What the fuck?
But I'm not surprised by that because it snows in May all the time, and people need to chill out because it happens all the time. Okay.
Yeah, but then June comes along, and then all of a sudden we're all dying of heat and we're all complaining.
I don't complain.
I know you don't complain. I know for the most part I try not to complain. I usually don't because I know the irony of complaining.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden we get a heat wave that lasts like barely a week, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, plus 25 again." It's like, dude,
go inside.
Yeah, most humanity lives with that temperature.
Yeah,
like every day. That's mild to some people. Like, and it's dope. It's dope. It's fucking beautiful.
I love it.
You can literally just go aside in your fucking ginch and run to the fucking like store and that, and everyone's like, "Ah, he's good.
He's good."
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'd wear the same thing.
Yeah. If I had a body like that.
Yeah. That's what everyone says to me.
Yeah. Do you have any more updates in this week in weather?
The number one weather podcast. All I gotta say is, I got nothing to say.
It's okay. Winnipeg Jets interview Barry Trotz for head coach position. I like him in the Winnipeg organization, but it depends where Winnipeg is. Are they a rebuild team this year, next year, in the next few years, or are they going to re-sign Scheifele and re-sign maybe a couple of veterans, Connor and such, and see if they could build around them? I think Barry Trotz is asking the same question. He got fired from the New York Islanders for not making the playoffs, I guess. Speaking of not making the playoffs, DeBoer fired out of Las Vegas, Caleb, because the first time in their NHL history, first time in their franchise history, they missed the playoffs.
Glorious. Just amazing institution.
Fucking bullshit, dude.
That Los Angeles
so unfair.
Or, Las Vegas holds.
Yeah.
The institution.
Yeah.
The long fought institution of Las Vegas.
Las Vegas hockey. I know. First year in the league, they go to the Stanley Cup final.
We have all this money.
No. You know what it was, Caleb?
We'll make a team.
I will give it up to the management. The reason why they were able to do that is they made a lot of moves that actually made it illegal for Seattle to do it when they came in the league. NHL made some of the more precise moves because what they would do is they would like trade some of their picks some of the players that they picked up from other teams for draft picks. So they were manipulating the system a lot of ways that the NHL made it illegal for when Seattle came in to do.
Well, I mean, the rules are the rules, and if you find a loophole, then
Well, they did,
yeah,
and
there
then
you go.
they went into the playoffs. What freaking 4 years? The first 4 years, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And this is the first time missing.
But again, to my point, it still comes back to you can't build a team from nothing, and they had the financial backing to do that all.
No, they did most definitely.
Yeah,
This thing's still good. I might use this.
And it wasn't moderate financial backing to start a team, as you maybe could, with tens of millions. They had
They had it all.
They had it all. Yeah,
They had it all, and they were kind of like a test ground to see how it would go before the Raiders moved from Oakland to Las Vegas.
right.
And that's gone pretty well too. They're going to have the Super Bowl in probably in a couple years, I think it is. But yeah, Peter DeBoer, the head coach is fired, but I'm sure he'll get a job somewhere else because he's a pretty good coach. Yeah, Lambert takes over Trotz's role on the Isles. There was another. Oh yeah, just some finalists for the Selke Trophy this year. We got Barkov, Bergeron, and Lindholm. Bergeron's always in that talk for the Selke. He's the best. I think it's a two-way player, the Selke. And the finalists for the Masterton Trophy, which is, I think it showcases the most sportsmanlike conduct, not just on the ice but off the ice. Zdeno Chara, 75-year-old Zdeno Chara, Hayes, and Carey Price. Carey Price obviously not standing up to, just battling his shit in public, taking time away from the rink to go help himself. So good on him. And what do we get here? Before we get to TWIS, just want to give I was watching the Jays game last night, and Kikuchi put on a hell of a fucking show. And he's finally hopefully getting into his groove, our starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. Takes the win. We won 6-2 last night. We were finally getting some hits and scoring hits with runners in scoring position, which we haven't. And tonight, I didn't actually watch it because I was driving home from work. But Springer hit the Jays' first triple of the year, and it happened to be with the bases loaded. So he's cleared the bases, got a 3 RBI triple, and that's all the Jays needed for tonight's win. We took a 3-0 against Seattle. That's 2 in a row. Last night it was 6-2. Today it was 3-0. And after being on a bit of a slump, the Jays put 2 in a row against the Seattle Mariners. And shit, we got to take a sip of water. Like, Seattle will always be synonymous with water for me.
Even though he's on our team.
Yeah, well, Malik Smith is technically on our team, but he's in the minors now. Hopefully, like, I don't want to wish for injuries on our team, but maybe I'll wish. No, the players that are up on the Jays are like really, really good.
We just want water back so we can yell water at them.
Yes, I just want them up, like called up for whatever reason. But
just for the game that we go.
Yeah, it's a long shot. What I would have to do, Caleb, is I'd have to go down to Buffalo or where Buffalo's playing. Maybe in Vancouver. They might play. No, I don't know if Vancouver has a AAA team. Wherever has a AAA team, because that's where Malik Smith is playing, is in AAA.
There's a AAA Toronto team?
No.
Who does he play for then?
Buffalo.
Plays for Buffalo.
Yeah.
But he can still get called back to the Blue Jays every now and
then. Yeah,
then.
but
If needed,
but I don't know if he's needed. We got a lot of good outfielders.
Right.
So, I should look into. I mean, I'm so fucking busy this summer, which is good. Obviously, good. I'm not complaining. I was just looking at the schedule for the Riverhawks this summer because I finally got it. They finally released it,
yeah.
And they're like the little pamphlets. Did I bring it out here? No, I didn't. Looking at all the games that I'll be working and whatnot. Oh, it's so exciting.
Well, give me a list. I'll look into some stuff you need.
Okay. Well,
keep me busy. Come on.
All right. Well, and I need a list. Well, we'll get into this after then. Fuck, I'll write it down. Okay, SSIR. Super Series Indian Relay happening this weekend. My first official announcing gig. I'm super, super excited. It's the most exciting horse racing there is. It's 3 horses, 3 laps, 1 rider. They jump from one horse onto the next, and it's all bareback. That's right, it's all bareback. If you don't know what this is, you gotta YouTube it. And if you're YouTubing it, please subscribe. Did I send you the link? Subscribe to the
Super Series Indian Relay.
Yes, YouTube channel. Subscribe.
We're gonna link it. We're gonna link it in the description.
Yes, and I got to send it out to everyone because we're gonna stream it live. If you can't make it down to Century Mile Casino in Leduc, I think it's Nisku or Leduc. I don't know. There's fucking 2 cities next to each other, 2 villages next to each other, Nisku and Leduc, and I don't know which one's part of the freaking airport.
Well, Leduc's a city, but
what's Nisku?
Anyways, it's
what's Nisku?
It's around that area. Like they'll have addresses posted.
Yeah. I mean, it's right next to the airport,
then it's Nisku.
Is that what it is?
Technically, but it's closer to Leduc. Leduc's bigger. It's in fucking Leduc. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, by the airport. If you love horse racing, get there. If you like excitingness and being put on the edge of your seat, get there. This is oh my goodness!
You're gonna be blown away.
You are. You literally are.
It's not just horse racing.
It's not.
This isn't fancy colonized horse racing.
It's not. This is part of the healing of our people.
Yeah. And it's raw and it's exciting and it's like, yeah, adrenaline fueled.
And I can't understate how excited I am for it because as soon as I started like looking into it really like seriously, it's incredible.
It's like nothing you've ever seen before.
It isn't. There's nothing like it on the planet Earth. There isn't.
Yeah.
There literally isn't. What it essentially stems from is our the way we used to hunt the buffalo back in the day. Obviously, we would do it on horse after the horses were brought to us, and we would run them off. We would run the buffalo off the edge using horses. Back before that, we would just run them like savage, like just hardcore.
Yeah.
Just on foot.
Yeah.
Because we were hardcore like that.
Yeah.
But then we got horses. And so the buffalo has always been a huge part of Indian relay. And I don't know if I should say this on the podcast because I don't know if it's confirmed. But Caleb.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for it. And like I said, it's all bareback. You have to YouTube it. YouTube the Indian relay. A rider jumps off of one horse while it's moving, jumps onto the ground, runs bareback, and jumps onto another horse bareback, and keeps going. It's freaking incredible, and I'm so excited to be part of it. And it's happening May 23rd, May 24th, Century Mile Casino. We're going to be streaming it. If you can't make it, because we're selling tickets on Show Pass, but if you can't make it and you can't get tickets, you can get tickets there. But if you can't actually attend, it would be really, really appreciated if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, Super Series Indian Relay.
Description below.
Sure. Yeah, we gotta make sure we get that. Yeah. SSIR. We have to get as many subscribers to it as possible because we're going to be streaming it on Sunday and on Monday. It's a 2-day event.
Are they streaming it straight to YouTube?
They're streaming it straight to YouTube.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're super excited for that, and it's my first announcing gig, my first official announcing gig. So I would like if all the listeners to this would subscribe to that, and if you have time on Sunday or Monday, come tune in and give me some feedback because I'd really appreciate that. Super Series Indian Relay SSIR. That's where it's at. Before we conclude here, obviously we got TWIS. We need like a little theme for TWIS or some shit. You got anything on the board? No, that's it. No, we can't do that. No,
that's our playoff intro.
Yeah, that's the playoff one.
a regular intro.
Well, that could be Twish. We can move that to Twish, no?
Ooh, funky Twish
action.
You know what? We're gonna get some better sounds.
yeah. We deserve some better sounds by now. This is like episode 40.
Yeah,
we need some better sounds on this show.
Yeah, we're almost a year in. We can
take
it up a notch for you folks.
I think so. Okay, so on this week in sports history, Twish we call it. May 17th, 1925, 97 years ago, Cleveland Indian, now called the Guardians, but I like the Indians. Cleveland Indian TWIS Speaker gets his 3,000th hit. I think he's one of the first players to get his 3,000th hit. And the reason why I thought that significant, because 45 years later, in 1970, the great Hank Aaron becomes the 9th player to get his 3,000th hit. And of course, Hank Aaron, the all-time leading home run leader, well, until Bonds broke it, but people, Barry Bonds is kind of a contentious subject, kind of a contentious player coming from the steroid era. But
we're not historians.
Hey, I am. I'm fucking doing. I'm doing a segment about this week in sports history. Of course, I'm having a story.
We can't have a professional opinion on Barry Bonds. It's too complicated.
But yeah, 1970. So that was 52 years ago. And the other one was freaking 97 years ago. Both players hitting their 3,000th hit on the same day, May 17th. That was this week in sports history. This has been This Week in Sports TWIS. Oh, before we go, what's the game one plans for tomorrow? I got to work tomorrow. I'm not asking you. I know you got.
Game starts at 8.
No, it's 8. It's 7:30. 7:30. Yeah, they're moving it up.
Throw off my whole rhythm.
I know. No way. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, my son goes to bed at 8. It was convenient.
Now you got to keep him because second round.
Now he's got to stay awake for at least the second period.
Yeah, exactly.
And if things get crazy, he's got to stay awake for the third period.
Yeah.
You got to call his school in the morning. He's not coming to school. What's the reason?
Yeah.
Playoffs, baby! Oilers, you're not watching TV.
That's right. So I guess we know your plans for tomorrow. I'm not decided on mine. I know on my way home from work, I'm hitting up Olympia. Because they got starting tomorrow, they fucking scheduled it out for the game for the round 2. Starting tomorrow, they got Crown.
Yeah,
but it's be coming back. It's on the way back, right? Because
that makes sense then.
They got a sale on Crown, but also I can stop at GameStop because I have that controller in your ride that I want to exchange. So that's what I'm doing before game 1 after work.
You know what I'm tasting?
It doesn't matter what you're tasting. That's on sale.
I'm tasting a Crown Summer.
Yeah, I like a Crown Summer.
As long as we keep going,
I like a Crown Summer.
Yeah, they'll put the extra dollars in for a tasty Crown Summer.
I like a Crown Summer. I really like that. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll write that. Yeah, Crown Summer, baby. Okay, so that's where we start tomorrow. But as far as I was thinking of maybe watching it downtown again, like at Rogers, but then I thought it's almost as good outside with all the fans, and you have a little more freedom.
It looks unreal
because you can smoke outside and shit. Yeah. So I might just go downtown and watch it downtown outside. So I don't know. I'll decide during the day tomorrow, I guess, on what I want to do, and depending. I
was watching a news report today, like a local one, saying that it's been getting more packed, and it's gonna be continuing getting more packed.
Yeah, the demand went up.
So the earlier you go, probably the better, because they said they're actually going to start turning people away if it's too full.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
You actually seen that?
They said those words. We're going to have to start turning people away. They hinted at opening other viewing locations around the city.
They will.
Which would be awesome.
If the demand is there.
Exactly.
You know where they could do it? They could do it right across the street from Grand Villa.
Sure.
Yeah, in that area right there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But even open one at that gazebo area on White Ave, that'd be a great one to do.
that's when you open a new can of worms, though. If you go down below the river.
What? But there's already fans down there
On White.
but also the south side of the river that maybe don't, if given the option, wouldn't drive downtown if they have one on the south side to go to.
Well, here's what I can see happening for sure. By the series I call going to 6. If it goes to 6, then they will have viewing parties all over the place.
That's what I mean.
Regardless, like south side, north side, west, east, all over the place. Freaking in different Leduc, all that shit, right? St. Albert,
a viewing party.
St. Albert.
Oh my god!
Like
oh my god!
Sherwood Park.
A viewing party in the mall at the ice.
Oh, in West Ed
on the screen there.
They're owned by different people. That wouldn't work. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Shit, Naomi told me. Okay. Yeah, we know
we have an inside.
Yeah, well, we kind of know. We have an insight on who those people that. Yeah. Anyways,
I mean that'd be a mutual beneficial for both of them, right?
No, I think it would. I think the way that people think at that place is not the same way they think where the party's at.
Okay. You're right. You're right. Because party people aren't necessarily going to buy clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Those are the people that are maybe getting away from it or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, that has been this week in sports. I appreciate y'all listening. Go Oilers, go.
Get on the hype train.
Get on if you're not on the bandwagon, well, you're on the bandwagon if you listen this far. So recruit some other motherfuckers onto the bandwagon, please.
Shake someone.
Yes. Be like, let's go Oilers! And that's what we're going to leave it at. Let's go Oilers. Let's go Oilers. Let's go Oilers.